Oh, I just saw a political post about Biden was talking about he wants to end the era of shareholder capitalism. So, I mean, Trump has been saying like the stock market is not going to do well if Biden gets in and that kind of stuff. But Biden has now come out and said the same thing. Like he has no interest in supporting the stock market, which I thought was interesting. Um, so I was taking a look at the balance sheet. Let me just recap a couple of things. I posted a video through TradingView. It should post over here soon. But yeah, I wanted to just chat about the the political race. The drama is kind of getting started. They're talking about releasing Trump's tax, his tax returns, but now they're like, well, after the election or something like that. So all that political nonsense is whatever. But I just wanted to recap a couple of things, which is the Fed balance sheet is still coming down. It's actually below 7 trillion now. So they're not pumping money. The Treasury General account has now flatted out, and so the Treasury General account's no longer taking money out. So the liquidity is still looks pretty much like no liquidity from the government or the Fed. And definitely need to watch if the Treasury account starts coming down. That's helicopter money, but it's not coming down yet. And then, yeah, the Fed funds rate is traded from like 0.05 to 0.08. It's like a tiny move up in the Fed funds, which could be an inflationary signal, but not much of one yet. Um, and then, yeah, where we are in the market here is to recap, and then I'll take a look at gold. But we've now kind of passed the bull flag area, and we've broken down, and now we have broken down and back tested inside of the boring zone here, where we've been swinging around, and so this looks like a bearish trade setup with hardly any resistance all the way down here, south of the 3,000 level. And not that I would expect it to make that size of a move today. I mean, it's Friday, and this is just overnight trading stuff that's on right now, but that is that's the trade setup for right now. My, any kind of move to the upside has a ton of resistance. We have the zone as looks like pretty good resistance already, and then we have the previous peak, a couple levels of resistance there and there, and then we have really big resistance again here at the long term 2-year bull market line that we're still underneath. So yeah, any bullish moves are going to run into a lot of resistance, and then there's no support on the bear side until we get down here to these long-term bull support and moving averages. And if we can break through those, then that's actually bear market territory. But as for right now, it's just kind of a bearish setup to move down here and try to break the 3,000 level is what it looks like now. And the momentum does actually look quite bearish. I flipped through the momentum in the last video. And then I could show the dollar is gaining a little bit, which would make sense with a down move. But the yen breaking down has preceded down moves in the market just about every time. And so that's an interesting one that could be indicating a little bit of a down move. And that's really all that we're getting here, the early overnight kind of off market trading stuff. So we'll see what the action really looks like when we get going, but the bulls need to make an up move right now to get out of this bearish setup. Right now it looks pretty bearish. And yeah, so the Qs are still strong, and the small caps and the financials are still weak, and those are continuing to separate farther and farther, which is dramatic. But for an actual move down, a real move down in the market, like a bear market kind of thing, the Qs are going to have to move down, and they're not doing that right now. So this only looks like, a setup for a down move for a couple of days. It doesn't look like a setup for a couple of months or something of down movement. And yeah, I want to take a look at gold. I've been seeing a lot of talks about gold being set up for a big breakout, and the Treasury General account flatting out, and the bond yields kind of trading up a tiny bit. is maybe we're starting to see a little bit of inflation that would be good for the metals. So the overall market is maybe good for the metals. But if we do get a breakdown in the stock market, usually you get a breakdown in the metals also. And so this is the Sprott physical gold. And yeah, and so this was a good technical setup here. But the fundamentals didn't look very good for metals on a long-term kind of perspective. Like this is a short-term trading setup that looks like it has basically played out. And so um, we're not getting much else in the way of a shorter term. I don't know how many people would short term trade the physical kind of metals anyway. And this is not investment advice, but I think we're getting close to seeing if we get an inflationary or a deflationary outlook that would make sense for a longer term position in gold or silver. And it may be trending towards inflationary, as what it looks like right now, which would need the dollar to break down along with it. So yeah, so if we can get the interest rates trading up and the dollar breaking down, that would be really good for gold and silver. Let's take a look at silver. Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. So this is a really good setup actually for silver. This looks like an upside breakout setup for silver. And so I do really like silver, but it's only going to be good if it's inflationary environment and it's a positive commodity environment, which we may be trending into right now. It's a little early to see if that's happening. So I guess today today is a good day to see if the general markets do make a down move, do the metals follow that down move? That's going to be important to see. If the market starts moving down, does the leading sector, does the infotech, the Qs, the Nasdaq, do those lead a move down and point at a longer term move down, or not? Do they keep splitting? If the Qs are going up and the general market is going down, then that still looks like just kind of a shorter term kind of move. And then if the metals don't move down with the market either, then that could be a good spot to put a long trade on something like silver, or maybe silver miners. And here's my favorite silver miner, which is First Majestic Silver Corp, and it's AG. Actually, have AG as their ticker, which is pretty cool. But First Majestic is Canadian owned, and their mining jurisdictions are in Mexico, so they have really good jurisdictions. And in terms of a U.S. buyer, avoiding political risk, those are good jurisdictions. And this is one of the only, or I think the only, silver mining company that actually mints its own silver coins, and it actually focuses on silver mines, because almost every silver company produces silver as a byproduct of other things, byproduct of gold or a byproduct of other metals, industrial metals. But the First Majestic actually mines silver. They mint silver coins. You can buy silver coins on their website. And so if we do hit an inflationary environment and we're not seeing the stock market crashing and pulling the metals down with it, then I think silver, like the SLV or the Sprott Silver Trust for paper silver, um, or First Majestic for a miner is an interesting one. And you can buy silver, physical silver from them, or whatever other market for physical silver. But yeah, but this may be a setup, a short-term setup for a trade on silver that we're seeing right now, which is interesting. If we get a good, and it looks like we're getting a bullish kind of breakout setup here on silver. So this could be a spot to get a breakout setup sort of on a swing, maybe like a weekly kind of swing trade setup, and then along that, see if the actual market turns favorable to a long-term position that you could hold instead of swing trade. So I think this is a pretty interesting spot for silver. And yeah, I mean, I guess start talking about the election now. Like Biden is fully embracing not caring about the stock market, and Trump is fully talking about caring about the stock market. So it does look like the stock market is gonna be affected by this presidential race quite a bit. And yeah, if you go to mmtgear.com, I have some t-shirts up. I might make some political t-shirts, although I don't support either of the candidates, or I'm not driving any kind of political opinion on this channel for sure. But but I might make some political t-shirts just because of the election happening. And yeah, you can check out mmtgear.com. I don't have political shirts in there right now. Just some jokes and stuff relating to trading and investing and things like that mostly. And yeah, so not trading advice. Please hit the comments, like, subscribe, all that cool stuff. And I'll see if there's any stocks that are breaking out, and I'll check back soon. Happy trading.